so it.
7 o'clock, I would like to call the Whitehall City Council meeting to order for July 1, 2014, to consider such matters that may come before it. I'm going to ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silence. Remain standing for the pledge. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Church, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Here.
LaPorte. Morrison.
Here.
Bailey.
Here.
Rodriguez. Gregg.
Here.
Coniston.
Here.
And President Grant.
Present.
Mr. President, move to excuse the absent members.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Bailey and a second by Mr. Canner to excuse the absent members. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The absent members have been excused. Next, we have our approval of minutes for June 17, 2014, the agenda and regular meeting.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda and regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Coniston and a second by Mr. Gregg for the approval of the June 17, 2014 minutes for the agenda and regular meeting. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. We have our first opportunity for poll public. If anyone would like to come forward and speak your piece before council. All right, we'll move on to our standing committee reports. We'll start with Administration and Financial Management, Chairperson Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration and Financial Management did meet last Tuesday. Our minutes are on file. We will meet again next Tuesday sometime after 6:30.
Thank you, sir. Community Engagement, Chairperson Coniston.
Thank you, President Graham. Community engagement met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we will meet again next week in about sometime after 6:30.
Thank you. Community Standards and Enforcement, that'd be Chairperson Rodriguez. He's unable to attend the meeting this evening. However, the committee did meet last Tuesday, and their minutes are on file. They shall also meet again next Tuesday, sometime after 6:30. That brings us to Economic Development. Chairperson LaCourte, she's also unable to attend this evening. That committee also met last Tuesday. Their minutes are on file, and they do have a piece of legislation before us this evening for its second reading, which we will probably be taking action on. That brings us to Infrastructure Maintenance and Services, Chairperson Gregg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Infrastructure Maintenance Service also met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we'll meet sometime back after 6:30 next week.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Chairperson Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public Safety also met last week. Our minutes are on file, and we will meet next Tuesday sometime after 6:30.
All righty, thank you. That brings us to Parks and Recreation, Chairperson Canner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Parks and Recreation also met last week, and our minutes are on file. We'll meet again next week in the back.
All righty, thank you. Those are all the standing committee reports. Moving on to our officials' reports. The mayor's not in attendance this evening due to prior obligations. And so we shall begin with Director of Public Service, Mr. Ray Alden.
Good evening, everyone. I wish everybody a happy Independence Day, and that's all I have.
All righty, thank you, sir. That brings us to our city attorney, Mr. Martinez.
Mr. President, members of council, ditto.
All right. Our auditor, Mr. Dan Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no official report. I would like to ask for favorable consideration on resolutions 28, 32, and 33.
All right, so noted. Our Director of Public Safety, Mr. Chuck Underwood.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. I have no official report. I do have pleasurable afternoon coming up on Wednesday, the 9th of July at 1 o'clock in this chambers room. We'll be swearing in one auxiliary and 2 regular police officers. other than that, I wish everybody a nice 4th of July. Please take time to reflect on the meeting on 4th of July.
All right, thank you, sir. As far as council is concerned, we have not received any official reports in the council office since our last council meeting. That brings us to communications, petitions, and claims. We do have the 3 items listed on the agenda and have not received any other items since the agenda was prepared. That brings us to our verification of copies. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll on whether each member of council was given a copy of each item of legislation listed on the agenda prior to the meeting and including any add-on legislation.
Tanner,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
All righty. We'll now begin with our ordinances and resolutions for the evening. As usual, we begin with 3rd readings, and we have ordinance 35, 2014, amending the traffic code of the city of Whitehall, Ohio by amending Appendix Traffic Schedule X entitled Fire Lanes.
Mr. President, I wish to introduce and move for the adoption of ordinance 35, 2014.
Second.
The motion by Mr. Morrison and second by Mr. Bailey for the introduction and adoption of ordinance 35, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Ordinance 35, 2014 has been adopted. Moving on, we have Resolution 28, 2014, adopting the tax budget for the city of Whitehall, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2015, and submitting same to the county auditor and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce resolution number 28-2014. Move for the adoption.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cantor, second by Mr. Gregg for the introduction and adoption of Resolution 28, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Resolution 28, 2014 has been adopted. Those are all the items we have under 3rd reading. Under 2nd reading, we begin with 36, 2014, approving and making an appropriation transfer in the amount of $20,000 from the Medical Director Health Wellness account to the Repair of Equipment account and declaring an emergency. That ordinance is being read by title only. Ordinance 39, 2014 reads amending section 161.37E2 and 161.38A of the codified ordinances of the city of Whitehall by deleting the position of a full-time records clerk, deleting the position of a part-time communications officer, adding a position of a full-time communications operator, and adding the position of a part-time records clerk and declaring an emergency. That ordinance is being read by title only. Moving on, we have ordinance 40, 2014, authorizing the execution and delivery of a reimbursement agreement with the Columbus Metropolitan Library and appropriating funds for that reimbursement. That ordinance is being read by title only. Next, we have ordinance 41, 2014, to designate a special overlay district for the East Broad Street, East Main Street, Yearling Road, and Hamilton Road corridors, and to adopt standards and guidelines of section 1124.10 of the Planning and Zoning Code of the codified ordinances of the city of Whitehall to provide clarification on overlay applicability. I got that messed up, I'm sure. Applicability, I don't know. Anyway, I never can say that word. And extent, overlaying that word and extent as prepared by the Development Department. That ordinance will have a public hearing on 7/15/2014 and is also being read by title only. Next, we have ordinance 42, 2014, authorizing a development and tax increment financing agreement with Air South Commerce Center, LLC, for the design and construction of improvements for the Air South Commerce Center and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 42, 2014, and move for suspension of the rules.
Second?
A motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Coniston, for the introduction and suspension of all rules on ordinance 42, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on ordinance 42, 2014.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Coniston for adoption of ordinance 42, 2014. Mr. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Ordinance 42, 2014 has been adopted. Next, we have Resolution 31, 2014. It's authorizing the mayor to enter into a modification agreement with the Columbus MBM5 LLC and FedEx Ground Package System Incorporated, all in conjunction with the City of Whitehall Community Reinvestment Area Program. And that resolution is being read by title only. Those are all the items under second reading. Under first reading, we have ordinance 43, 2014. It's approving and making a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $100,000 from unappropriated monies in the General Fund 101 to the Income Tax Refunds Expense Account and declaring an emergency. That ordinance is being read by title only. Next, we have ordinance 44, 2014, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver documents on behalf of the city to accept title to certain property within the Airport South Commerce and Tech Park and to transfer to property back to the original owner in order to permit a tax increment financing program for that property. That ordinance is being read by title only. We do also have ordinance 45, 2014. That is making an appropriation and making and approving a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $25,000 from unappropriated monies in the Street Maintenance and Repair Fund to the Street Materials Account and declaring an emergency. That ordinance is being read by title only. Let me see, where am I at here? That brings us to Resolution 32, 2014. It's resolving to approve then and now certificates and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce Resolution 32, 2014, move for suspension of the rules.
Second?
A motion by Mr. Bailey and a second by Ms. Coniston for introduction and suspension of rules on Resolution 32, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on Resolution 32, 2014.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Ms. Coniston for adoption of Resolution 32, 2014. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Resolution 32, 2014 has been adopted. Next, we have Resolution 33, 2014. It's resolving to approve then and now certificates and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to also introduce Resolution 33, 2014, and move for suspension of the rules.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Canner for the introduction and suspension of all rules on Resolution 33, 2014. Questions or comments? Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on Resolution 33, 2014.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Canner for adoption of Resolution 33, 2014. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Resolution 33, 2014 has been adopted. Those are all the items of legislation we have this evening. We'll move to our second opportunity for poll public. If anyone would like to address council or the administration, now's your opportunity.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I move that you suspend the rules because I forgot to tell you something earlier.
Okay.
We had a public announcement regarding the safety net.
Second.
In a discussion with the chief this afternoon, it came to my attention that we have authorized strength for approximately 30 auxiliary police officers. We have approximately 10 auxiliary police officers. We would like to have approximately 20 auxiliary police officers. So if you or anyone in attendance knows anybody that might be interested in applying for an auxiliary police position in the city of Whitehall, please contact the police department.
All right, sounds good. We'll pass that information on if we know anyone who's interested. Thank you, sir. That brings us to Community Date Board.
You were on poll public.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. State your name and address for the record.
Tamara
You have 3
Mosley,
minutes.
691 Beechwood. That's not mine. I turned it off. I'm talking about the house next door, 695 Beechwood. I understand it is going to be taken care of, it's going to be torn down. Glad of that. I did see yesterday a couple of gentlemen doing a walkthrough, they were inspecting or something, doing some pre-planning, I'm guessing. But I do have some curiosities and some concerns still with the house. One curiosity, and I don't know if you can answer, are they going to burn it down or bulldoze it?
We don't
Don't know.
We don't know.
It'll be demolished.
Just demolish
Yeah,
it?
if you want to call me tomorrow, I'll answer. I talked to you one time about it,
Uh-huh.
and, we'd like to talk to you about
Okay.
what happens to the property after the building has been removed. So, give me a call. Zach and I can tell you anything you know.
Okay, is there a phone number?
It's 237-8612.
Okay. So I'll just hold on to the questions for you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Does anyone else have anything for poll public? Now we'll move to Community Date Board.
All right. Well, tonight the Young Miss Whitehall is going on at 6:30, so I bet they're about ready to announce a new Young Miss. Tomorrow the amusement rides are from 5 to 10. All rides are for $15. And then tomorrow night is Miss Whitehall, so everybody please come out at 6:30 for that. Thursday we will be having, of course, the fireworks. First there's the amusement rides. They do have a special from 3 to 6 for $20. The amusement rides are going on from 1 to 11 on Thursday. We will have music entertainment by Hind Dog and Stats from 7 to 9:55. The national anthem will be sung by Torcy Calvert. This is the first year for him. At 9:55, and then the fireworks at 10 o'clock. July 4th parade will begin at Poth in Yearling at 10 o'clock, and parade begins.
At Poth?
Well, Broad and Yearling, I should say. Line up at Poth, anybody that would like to be in the parade. We are asking for people to decorate their bikes and be in the parade this year and meet over at the library. Right after the parade, from 12 to 6, we will be having a community picnic over at John Bishop Park, and we're hoping to have everybody out there. So I think that's all.
Will the rides be open on the 4th?
They will not be open on the 4th.
Thank you.
And you said the ride special on Wednesday is
The ride special on Wednesday is 5 to 10. All rides are $15.
5 to 10, okay.
I get it. To draw more people on Wednesday. There'll
Definitely.
be plenty of people there on.
Definitely.
I thought that was kind of. Anyone else have anything for Community Day Board? Well, that brings us to poll council. We'll begin with Mr. Cantor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to wish everybody a safe 4th of July. So,
All right. That brings us to Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also would like to wish everyone a good 4th of July and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the words of our esteemed legal counsel, ditto.
That brings us to Mr. Gregg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for coming, and hope everyone has a happy and safe 4th of July week. It looks like we've already started celebrating over at the park, so should be fun.
All right, Ms. Coniston.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Everybody remember that the whole reason for July 4th and this year is supporting our troops. Our Grand Marshals are Colonel and Sergeant Mike Moore, and I think that that is a real nice tribute to Whitehall to have that.
Especially since they graduated, both of them.
Definitely, graduates of Whitehall.
Okay, well, I also want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. We get past this next day or so with a little bit of humidity. I think we're in store for a wonderful 4th of July with some great temperatures, and I hope everybody has a wonderful 4th. So with that, we have no other official business coming before us this evening. I would therefore entertain a motion for adjournment.
Mr. President, I would like to move to adjourn.
second.
I got a motion by Mr. Bailey and a second by Ms. Coniston for adjournment. Ms. Churchman, please call the roll.
Tanner,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
We are adjourned. I hope to see you all at our next meeting in 2 weeks. Thank you all. Thank
Kelly
you.
Hill, that was awesome.
3 minutes over.
You guys did great.
What time is
Thank you,
that?
thank you, thank you.
Have a good 4th of July.
Wes.
Sir.
Yeah, I know. I was right.
Yeah, make sure Mr. Shannon pick up Patricia. When you ask
Yeah, you guys all get to leave. I gotta go sign. I don't know. Just wanna get the big one. That's right.